What's up, everybody? Welcome to my channel, Awaken Authentic Self. If you are watching me for the first time, I'd like to welcome you here. If you are an existing subscriber, thanks for joining again. I am Jill Nicole for those who are first-time watchers, and today's message is they don't want you to reach clarity. You know, sometimes when we're in situations that's causing a lot of confusion, you may want to put on your discernment hat. You may want to tap in, pray to God and figure out what is really going on, because you should always be able to have a level of clarity about what's going on in your life and what's going on around you. And the moment when it seems like people don't want that for you and that they're trying to hide things and, omit things, then you need to watch out, because the Bible lets us know that God is not the author of confusion. See, Satan is the author of confusion. Whenever you are confused about something, and I'm not talking about no math problem at school and you're just not understanding it, and the teacher is giving you all the tools and all the work that you need in order to do that thing, and you just, are not comprehending, and you just may need to go through it again. No. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about when things are purposefully omitted, left out, or you're isolated, or you're blocked off from what others have access to. See, the enemy is always trying to do what? The enemy tries to come in to steal, kill, and destroy. And also we know that witchcraft does what? Witchcraft comes to manipulate, control, and to intimidate. Manipulate, control, and to intimidate. So a lot of times people are trying to control the narrative. So they'll let you have some information, but not everything. So whenever, you have a situation and something is missing, and you start to hear what someone doesn't say, and then if you ask for clarification and you still don't get it, just know you are dealing with something that is not of God, because there's nothing that is a secret. The Bible lets us know full well that anything hidden shall come to light. That's right. Anything that's hidden in the dark will come to light. It's funny, because if you think about what grown-ups used to say when you were a child growing up, one of the things that my grandmother used to say is, there's eyes in the dark. So basically, if you're out here doing something you're not supposed to do, if you're outside playing and the street lights come on and you're still out there and you're supposed to be home, guess what? There's eyes in the dark. There is a neighbor looking out the window. This was back in the day when people actually looked out for other people's kids in the neighborhood, and somebody would know your mother and they would call your mother up on the phone and tell your mom, hey, your daughter's over here doing something she's not supposed to do. Your son's over here, back here fighting on the playground, right? There's eyes in the dark. So the same thing happens as adults. But see, we have adults that start acting like, other adults are children and that they can't be privy to certain information. And so they don't want you to reach a level of clarity. And so this thing even goes deeper than that. Sometimes they don't want you to reach a level of clarity, or the main reason, on the spiritual side of why they don't want you to reach a level of clarity is because Satan and the kingdom of darkness knows in full well that if you knew who you were, if you knew your calling, if you knew how powerful you were, if you knew your rank in the spirit, you would wipe the kingdom of darkness out. You and all the rest of the chosen ones, you and all the rest of God's children. So they don't want you to reach clarity. And this is why the enemy operates in deception. For example, if you are in a situation and you're on a job interview, so the job interviewer is asking you questions and make sure you're qualified. But if you're not able to answer those questions, or if you say something on your resume that you're able to do and you're not able to explain that during an interview, that may look like you're being deceptive. You should be able to explain the things that you talk about on your resume. If you are dating and you're asking a future prospect questions, about their past or about who they are, if they're closed off and they don't want you to know certain information, guess what? That person is operating in deception. They're not ready to date. They're dating for some other reason. They have some type of, manipulative, or how should I say this? Some type of, personal, thing that they're trying to do that has nothing to do with getting to know you. And so that's how you know that they're operating in deception. And, the best thing to do is don't give these type of people no benefit of the doubt. Because people should know about their truth. They should know about their background. They should know about, what they say on their resume. So do not give these people the benefit of the doubt, because they don't want you to reach clarity. When you talk about clarity, when you talk about transparency, that's where God dwells. God will lead you, the Holy Spirit will lead you into all truths. All truths. So when you're dealing with deceptive situations and deceptive things, and you try to do your research and people want you to invest in something without disclosing things, without any accountability, then you already know this is a red flag. This is a red flag. How else do people do? Sometimes people will start a smear campaign about you. And you wonder why there's so many people out here that don't even know you, that have a certain perception about you, that don't like you. And people do that sometimes because what? They want to control the narrative. They want to have a one-up on you, right? So that if anything was to go down, people would be looking at you like you're crazy. They won't respect what you say. This person will be able to do whatever manipulative things or that they're doing and trying to hide, and you won't even be able to take up for yourself because they started a smear campaign against you. Now, I'm not saying that you wouldn't be able to clear this up. I'm just coming from the perspective of this is these toxic type of people's motives and their intent on not wanting you to reach a level of clarity. And it's all coming from the kingdom of darkness, because God's children are what? We're bold as a lion. We come with truth, and we don't have to be, hiding somewhere in the dark. We don't have to be insecure about anything, because why? Because we're going to be truthful. We're going to give it to you real, and we're going to give it to you raw, whether you like it or not, right? Because it's the truth. Because at the end of the day, the Bible lets us know that the truth shall set you free. And he that's free is free indeed. He that the Son has set free, the Son, Jesus Christ, is free indeed. So the enemy does not want you to reach clarity. Sometimes they will try to direct your attention to something else in order to hide something else. Look at what's going on in the news today. Look at what's going on in the news today with this war that we have over in Iran. Our president with this whole issue of the Epstein files. Things are being, so many things are being thrown at the American people. Why? Because there's deception going on in the land. Somebody doesn't want, people focusing on a certain area. And so that's how you can see they do not want you to reach a level of clarity. Because once you're clear, you can move forward. Once you're clear, you can go to the next level. Once you're clear, we ain't got to worry about that, And so This is going to be a message to somebody that's up and down the timeline today. If this message reached you, perhaps this is your sign. Perhaps this is your confirmation. Pray about it, okay? Pray about it and let the Lord, reveal to you if this message is for you. So I thank you all for watching. Please do not forget to like and share this message, subscribe, and I will see you again another day, God willing.